Imposter syndrome is one of the main killer steps when you're trying to get your confidence back and self-esteem and even working towards your dream. You see how you're in a group of people, and then when they're trying to get someone to do something, they pick on you because they believe in you. But deep within yourself, you're second guessing your abilities. You are not sure if you're able to do whatever they're asking you to do. Yep, that is imposter syndrome. So it is basically a persistent feeling of self-doubt when a person believes you just believe, like, you think, like, am I a fraud, even when your actions clearly show that you can do it, you're competent, you have grown in your area of specialization, and even you've been successful. It often involves thinking you do not deserve the opportunities you're being given, or just fearing that other people will find out that you're not as capable as you seem, and also downplaying your achievement. For example, if you're a writer, you could be sitting and thinking, I'm not good enough, can I really write a book, or you don't actually believe that you can write really good articles, and you should not even be paid a lot of money for writing such articles, or whatever you specialize in. Yeah, so, like, for example, if you're trying to come out just telling your story, like I've told in my previous videos, I've been having this feeling of, and I know that is imposter syndrome, and that's what I'm trying to overcome through therapy and all that. It's basically just, how is it manifesting in me? Like, just second guessing my decision to share the content about my story, which I've been sitting on for like 2 and something years. And I just imagining, was it right to share that story publicly, or will people are judging me right now, or they're going to misunderstand me, or just feeling like it's like I have to justify whatever has been happening in my life because of what I am going through, and also trying to justify that I'm healing, guys, I'm healing, instead of just honoring the process. So even if you have been trusted with leadership in whatever area, in your place of work, or just creating content speaking about what you're going through, and in your mind the goal was to inspire other people who could be going through that, imposter syndrome will tell you that you're not ready, you're not qualified, like you're still in debt, you have not achieved anything, you're not stable financially, so you're not even qualified or worthy to talk about the topic. But the truth is, you've lived that experience, and the authenticity is just exactly what will make you powerful and relatable at the moment. So you need to share your story so that people can understand. But you see, what imposter syndrome is, it brings the shame that will come with it, or like you're not really worth telling this story. And sometimes if you're a creator, you could think of, maybe I can go back and delete that video, how are people viewing me and all that. So like I told you guys, ChatGPT has been my friend, even apart from, you just pair it with your therapist and all that, because whatever these people have learned in school to guide you, it's all in the internet. So you can put everything together and just understand what you're going through, okay? So sometimes the imposter syndrome will just tell you to step away from what you're doing and ignore that you're healing. You don't have to justify and all that. But I just wanted to know, how can I overcome this thing? So basically creating the videos, speaking about my story, just starting writing a book about my story, and helping others to learn how to maneuver when they're going through a similar situation. Because the Bible says there is nothing new under the earth. So what I went through, many people have gone through. So that's basically not a small thing. It is a courage and action, and imposter syndrome will creep in. And one thing you need to know when you're going through that, validate that feeling and try to overcome it, especially when you're being given responsibilities, leadership, when you're trying to make yourself visible, either in the internet or just showing up in whatever area you're showing up. That one can really be derailed by the imposter syndrome. So it will actually show up when you're doing exactly what you're meant to do. Underline that, when you're doing exactly what you are meant to do, because it's unfamiliar to your old self. You are vulnerable at that moment, and the whole process is deeply, and whatever you're sharing is deeply important to me, to you in that case, or me. So at that point, when you're telling your story, you're not trying to justify anything. You're just testify, just talking about where you've been, even though you might not be where you want to be, or where in quotes people want you to be. There is a very big difference between you going through the situation, not being able to talk about it, now being able to talk about it. So simply telling your story because someone out there needs to hear it, trust me. So that's not ego, you're not showing off. That's basically obedience, healing, and service, especially if you're a religious person and God is telling you, imposing on you, like, this is your purpose. That is something you should be doing. And when you are in line with your purpose, that is when imposter syndrome kicks in, and it kicks in really, really, really down. It will kick you, and you'll not be able to do that. So when you're chosen in a position, for example, let's say you've joined this church and now you're a Bible study leader, or you're leading the women's group or the men's group, God sees something in you. If you're given that responsibility, that means someone else is seeing you through the eyes of God. And that is something that you are just you are supposed to do, so that you can see what is actually inside you, so that you can carry on your purpose. So you're just working this out in real time. You're not pretending when you're telling your story at that point. So that's powerful, that's very real, and that's what makes you an incredible person or leader to that team, and not a fake person. So telling your story in real time, or just sharing your testimony and testifying where you can come from, where you're coming from, then that is something that you should not sacrifice at any point. So these are some of the real questions that you will find yourself asking yourself when you're going through this season. For example, in my case, when I was creating the previous videos, I was like, should I take the videos down? Because I was feeling like, was it right, the shame and everything that might come with it? So just asking myself, why did I post it in the first place? Did anyone coerce me? No one coerced me to do that. So if your heart was to share, the aim was to share the truth, to help someone feel less alone, or just to tell your story to help people, and also to glorify God through your healing journey, then that post is already serving its purpose. And that's the confidence I'm finding. It has very few views, but you see, you don't know who viewed it. Yeah, and you don't know what can come out of it. But if sometimes the nagging could be a lot. If that post is not giving you peace, it's keeping you awake at night, you could consider taking it down. Another question I was asking myself is, what if this video trends? What if it trends? So what if it trends when I'm not ready? But the truth is, you're just being faithful, and you're not. I didn't want to be famous in the first place, but I felt like I just needed to tell my story because I've been going through a lot, and I came out of that situation. I've kind of healed from it. I might not overcome the challenges I'm going through, but I have healed from that story. So if whatever is trending resonates with my story, then it is real. People are actually looking for that information I shared, and if it spreads, God can use that to reach other people for healing and to give them some light in the end of their tunnel. But also, if it doesn't trend, it still matters because it mattered to me. So that's like my library, and I can look back and say, this is what I went through. The other question I've been asking myself is, does anyone really care about what I've been going through? You see how you go through a situation and you feel like you're all alone, or sometimes you feel like you were never heard, no one listened to you, or people misunderstood you. Sometimes you tell the story for people to find out if people really, even if the people around you did not understand you, is there any other person outside there who is understanding you? So does anyone care? The fact that you have shared the story, 1 or 2 people will view it, and yes, someone cares. You personally, you care, God cares about it, and also the right people will care about that story. So the ones who are in a similar dark place, or who are just trying to find a language for what they're going through, they really care about that story, and they will listen to it, they will share. So my story and your story is your ministry, and someone is silently saying, me too, because you are brave enough to say it in the first place. So just sitting there and thinking, it has 5 views, does anyone really care? Someone really cares about it. So how do I validate the process I'm going through? Actually, that was my main question. Like, even some days are hard, and you sit there and you're wondering, will I ever get out of this hole, big hole that maybe I put myself into, or someone put me, I don't know. But sometimes I just sit down and I'm like, God, what if God wanted it that way? How come I'm still going through a lot has been happening, and I'm still alive? I have some peace of mind, even if I'm in debt, even if I could be trending somewhere. What is that? So how do you validate whatever you're going through? Just honor the process. Start by honoring the process. You have come a long way. You left something that was harming your spirit. You are now rebuilding. You are reconnecting with God. You are serving now. That's not a process to justify. It is a process to you witness. You're actually seeing it. Whatever is happening in your life, you're seeing it. So validation does not always come from views, comments, or applause. Sometimes it comes from the peace you feel when you look back and know you didn't give up. I hope that one makes sense. So whatever you do with the video you posted, don't make it private. Just leave it there. So that's what I've been encouraging myself. I'm going to leave it there. I will validate my process because I'm going through it right now. Okay, is it for me? Is it for other people? If I feel like it's not reflecting that yet at the moment, if I feel like it's not really serving the purpose, yeah, I can work on it over time, and I know at the end of it, something good is going to come. Like I believe something good is going to come from my process. So let me trust the process blindly, if I can say, and just validate it and say, I'm living my real life now. I've healed. That's why I'm telling the story. That means I'm making steps. My bank account may not be fat right now, but I'm making steps through it. And who knows, the content I'm creating could be my answered prayer, Yeah, that's it for today. I just wanted to talk about imposter syndrome, what it's doing to me, and how I had to get tips from my therapist to see how I'm going to overcome it. So thank you so much for being here and for listening. Bye bye.